morning, students. Today we will see uh, price output determination and different market system. Since we started this media, considering this media as a business and a market system, so we will discuss the general market system related to its different types and the characteristics of different market system, how the price output is determined. So, uh, before getting into this price output determination, we I want to recall the class where we had an introduction about the different types of competitions and markets. Now, so I hope you remember the different types of competitions and markets: perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. I think you remember these four different types of markets. These are the different types of competitions and markets: perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. So today's session, we'll see how the price determined under these various competitions. So we are going to talk about perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic, and oligopoly. So, so this is the scope for today's class. The different market types and its characteristics. Let's see. Just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah, perfect. Perfect competition. So let's see the. So these are the four different market types and thing. As I mentioned, no perfect competition. Example: the groceries, food grains, monopoly, the railway and defense, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. That FMCG, fast moving consumer goods, comes under the monopolistic competition, and the oligopoly. Some this DTH service providers. We'll see each and every system and its characteristics in detail. So let's see first. Let's see the perfect competition. Perfect competition is a market. It's a competition whereas there are many people, many buyers, and many sellers. An example: groceries, food grains, the local market also. So, large number of buyers and sellers in the market. So, the buyers and sellers have the perfect knowledge about the market. So, both the buyers and sellers have the both they have the perfect knowledge about the market. There are no entry and exit values in the market, such as in the food grades, the grocery shops. No entry and exit points are there. No barriers to entry and exit. So the product is homogeneous. Right? Tomato, for example, you take in a market, local market, vegetable shops, tomatoes, potatoes. So all the sellers will be having the tomato and potato. All the buyers having this knowledge about the market. So the product is homogeneous. All the sellers are selling the same product. That is here. we mean it as the commodity is homogeneous. All the sellers are selling the same product. Okay, I'm repeating. Large number of sellers, many people, many buyers and many sellers. They all, the buyers and sellers both have the perfect knowledge about the market. There are no barriers to entry and exit. Anybody can enter the market, and anybody can sell the product. And the commodity is homogeneous, means uh, all the sellers are selling the same product. The main feature of this type of competition is large number of buyers and sellers. So keep it in mind. Large number of buyers and sellers gives you the perfect competition. So you have innumerable buyers and innumerable sellers. Now, when we studied perfect competition, no, last time we said the perfect competition is only exist in academics. You can say it's theoretically, where we can find innumerable number of buyers, innumerable number of sellers for a particular product or in a market. So it is academically this perfect competition exists in theory, and practice it does not exist. So it will be difficult to bring out example for this perfect competition. So the best example is the market for groceries or market for food grains. So now this is a market where you have a very high number of buyers and sellers in the market. So almost like a perfect competition. Okay. So that's why it's not in the theory. So we can take a market example of groceries and food grades. It's like it's almost like the perfect competition. So next is monopoly. It's just opposite to the perfect competition. So in perfect competition, you have many sellers in the market, but in monopoly, as the word says, which means only one. So there is only one seller in the market, only one provider or one service provider or one seller in the market, which we can say the example railways and defense. Okay, next, in monopolistic competition, the product are not homogeneous or identical. They are almost similar. They are of similar nature. They may vary from each other. So, for example, we have given FMCG, fast moving consumer goods products, which are the products are are not homogeneous. Like they are not similar or identical. Almost similar of nature. They may vary. For example, if you take a toothpaste manufacturer, the market for toothpaste is monopolistically competitive. Other the example what we see is the homogeneous product in perfect competition. Here it's not a homogeneous. Uh, it's almost like similar. We have taken an example of a toothpaste as a monopolistic competitive. There is some difference between two phase of two brands. As you see, some will be having a mint, some will be giving a glove, some will highlight their product with salt, which has an active salt in their product. So two brands, but the product ultimately remains almost similar. So this is an example of monopolistic market. So in this fast moving consumer goods comes under the monopolistic competition. You can take any FMCG products like cosmetic items, uh, toothpaste, soaps, okay, bathing soap, toilet soaps. Okay, so the next to the monopoly is the monopolistic competition, where you have all the features. Sorry, we didn't finish the monopoly, the railway and defense, where there will be only one seller. Okay, then moving to the monopolistic competition, FMCG, you have all the features of perfect competition except for one, in which homogeneous products in monopolistic market, the product is not homogeneous or identical. So that is the only difference between the perfect and monopolistic competition. All the features of the perfect competition will be in a monopolistic competition. Only thing is it's not homogeneous. Perfect monopoly and monopolistic is done. So other products vary from each other in monopolistic competition. The final next is oligopoly. Oligopolistic market, you have few sellers. However, there is no restriction on the number of buyers. You may have any number of buyers, but only the restriction in the sense of in the thing of only the few sellers. So there is a we have given a telecom service provider or DTH. They have their own restriction. How many of them should have to provide this service? So this is again a case decreasing the number of sellers. So if it is decreasing the number of sellers, that is not a perfect competition. It's an imperfect competition where many sellers, same in the case of monopolistic competition, number of sellers ranges between 2 to 10 or 12. So as like telecom service provider and DTH service providers. There are not many service providers in the telecom industry. Concern you can count them on your fingers, like Airtel, BSNL, Vodafone. Some you can count on your fingers. So this is the manufacturer in the case even in the aeroplane manufacture. So there are only few sellers in the market, many takers, or many buyers for their products. So there are many buyers in the market. So this is general overview about the perfect competition, monopoly and monopolistic and oligopoly. Okay, perfect competition, many buyers and many sellers. Monopoly, one seller, many buyers. Monopolistic, it's like a perfect competition. Only in terms of the product homogeneity won't be there. There is an option feature for slight change in the product features. And oligopoly, restricted number of sellers and many buyers. Now we'll see each and every characteristics in detail. So now let's take a perfect competition individually and let's understand how the price is set in a perfectly competitive market. So now we'll be doing the characteristics of perfect competition. How is perfect competition defined? What are the features and characteristics of a competition? Then we'll see how the price is fixed under a perfect competition. The first feature is, as I said, large number of sellers. In a perfectly competitive market, there are innumerable sellers. There are many sellers. Quite possible that you may not be able to count the number of sellers, food grains and processes. In perfect competition market, so even if an individual seller increases the price of the product but decrease the price of the product, he possibly might not be able to impact the market impact and demand in the market. So the price and the price increase and decrease connected to the demand, creating an impact on the demand in the market. So here, an individual seller increasing the price or decreasing the price of the product that might not impact the market. In fact, the supply in the market, because he becomes a very small player in the market because there are many other sellers. You see, obviously, if there are more number of sellers, the individual seller can't increase the price also. There is a different issue. They can't increase the price, but still if he increase or decrease the price, also it won't affect the market demand, since because he becomes a very small player in the market because there are innumerable number of sellers. So the second characteristic is commodity is homogeneous. Now the homogeneous commodity means commodity is identical. When all the sellers are selling the same product, there is no difference between the products as the groceries, in vegetable markets. There is no difference between the products sold by any of the sellers. Actually, there are innumerable sellers, no. Yet every seller is selling the same product. So that's the reason it's a commodity is homogeneous in the perfect competition market, and no entry and exit barriers in the market. There are no entry and exit barrier means That means nobody can stop any buyer from entering into the market. Nobody can stop any seller from entering into the market. And starting as a product of these assumptions make it difficult for the market to exist in practice. Let's say if anybody can become a doctor and starts his service, how would it be a man for becoming to become a doctor? You need to pass exams. You need to undergo practice. That means a house surgeon or intensive practice. There were no such requirements to become a doctor. For example, you set up a dispensary in the market and start giving your service as a doctor. How would it be such the case with the perfect competition? There are no barriers at all. So you do not have any barriers like any company can start and manufacture. So no barriers to entry and exit in this perfect competition market. That is the reason the example given is the groceries, food grades, and the vegetable. Next is buyers and sellers have all the knowledge about the market conditions, knowledge of goods and about the market conditions. All the knowledge about the goods and all the knowledge about the price, the demand to supply, everything is known by the buyers and sellers. And there is a of free movement of goods. There is no restriction on the movement of goods. The market is open. There are no access fee. There are no duties. There is no restriction on any of the goods, irrespective of the nature of the goods. Even if the goods are of dangerous nature, there is no restriction of the movement of goods. So free movement of goods for this perfect competition market product. Finally, the firm is the price taker. Firm means the company or organization. So all the above assumptions, the firm, that is the seller suddenly becomes the price taker. The firm is the seller in the market to seller becomes price taker. Why does the seller become the price taker? Is because he is a very small player in the market. He cannot make this price. Let's say in a market about toothpaste, no, all the sellers are selling the same toothpaste, and the price set in the market is, for instance, for example, it's rupees 25 for the toothpaste. Now the seller wants to increase his sales. What should we do? You would ideally reduce the price. When you reduce the price, what happens? He's still able to say equal number of products, because assumption in a perfect competition is all the sellers are able to sell all their products and all the buyers are able to satisfy their requirement. So when the seller is able to sell all his products at 25 rupees, now is reducing the price to rupees 24, he will be incurring a loss of rupees 1 on each of the products, on each toothpaste. So it would be stupid for him to reduce the price. So he cannot reduce the price. He's because he is too small in the market to impact the price or impact the demand again. If he tries to increase the price, let's say he tries to charge 26 rupees. I told you, know, the buyers have all the knowledge about the market and the market conditions. So they know which seller is selling at what price, because the seller of the particular seller charging more, the buyers definitely would shift to the other sellers if the seller increases the price to 26, just 1 rupee. And believe the seller won't be able to sell even a single toothpaste. So here comes the seller having the knowledge of goods and the market condition. So the buyers have all the knowledge about the market. Thus, we can see that the firm by itself cannot set the price. The price has to be set by the whole market, the forces of demand and supply set the price in the market. So, result of this, the firm, the seller becomes a price taker. Firm or the price takers. So next, the characteristics of monopoly. So that's the reason the perfect competition is for theory. In practice, it's very difficult to find such a market. Now let's take a look at the features of monopoly. Single seller for the products. Monopoly, single seller for the product. Restrictions to entry and barriers to entry. no close substitutes, price discrimination will be there. If we take, no, for example, I said the monopoly, it name itself, so only one seller in the market. What the example what we gave is the railways and defense, only single seller. Okay, restrictions to entry. So there are a lot of restrictions to give this service. If you take, for instance, if you take railways, it's very restricted. Anybody can't enter this market and provide the service. There are many barriers to entry for defense. So there is no any close substitute. For example, if you say, if you take railway travel, there is no any close substitute for the travel. If you want an alternate substitute mode of transport, no, there is no. Only you have to take a bus or air, going for an aeroplane, aircraft. So there is no any close substitute for this market. And the price discrimination, the who will fix the price? The buyer, the service provider fixes the price. For example, the railways, they fix the price. So there will be a price discrimination. They can give offer, they can give any, what you say, any concession for any people. So the for above senior citizens, they can give concessions, and for women or from defense people, so they can give any concession. That is the reason in this monopoly market, the high chances for the price discrimination and no close substitute for this mode of product. This market product, monopoly market product. Okay, next we'll see, take a look at the features of monopolistic competition. It is an imperfect competition. So large number of buyers and sellers, we already discussed in the product differentiation. Product in that perfect competition, large number of sellers, and the product is different. Product differentiation through advertising. Coming here, no, the product are different at all the sellers. As I said, no, it's almost similar. For example, taking a toothpaste or any cosmetic product, or any toothpaste product, there will be a similar, there will be what you say, the slight difference. How this can be achieved? The product differentiation can be done through advertisements. So in some or other way, this different from other products has to be uh, informed or communicate to the seller buyers. No, so there is no, what you say, uh, barriers to entry and exist. It's a freedom of entry and exist. As in the case, no, the perfect competition. Even in perfect competition, there was no barrier to entry and exit. Same case is here. Finally, the non-price competition. Now, this is very important feature of monopolistic competition. The sellers do not engage in price. Please note, the sellers do not engage in price in monopolistic competition. They try to sell the product not by reducing the price. See, FMCG products, for example, we have taken this monopolistic competition FMCG products as an example. Here, the product differentiation is an important feature. As I said, no, this can be achieved through advertisements, as same like a perfect competition, freedom of entry and exit. There is no any barrier. So non-price competition here is an important feature, is the non-price competition. It's a very important feature. Why? Because the seller do not engage in the price. Boss, please, how, no? In monopolistic competition, they try to sell the product not by reducing the price for any of their product, but by giving something additional or something extra, that is advertising the product or giving some after sale service, or maybe bringing a new product in the market. So by these ways, they try to sell their products in market, but they reprint into the price what they call it as the, this called as the cutthroat competition. They can't reduce the price to the similar type of products in the market, but they can give, what you say, additional or something extra by advertising the product. For example, for a toothpaste, they will give some toothbrush as as an extra feature. For cosmetics, if you buy some creams, they will give a small bottle of some other cosmetic product, which will just to introduce a new product or new product in the market. So by these ways, they can go for this non-price competition. They can manage this monopolistic competition. Next is the oligopoly market. So oligopoly comes from two Greek words. Olig means few, poly means seller. So a market where there are few sellers became an oligopoly in an oligopolistic market. Now few sellers, as I think you remember, we have given example for this oligopoly as the few sellers like for telecom industry, for telecom services and DTH services. So now few sellers, if you want to quantify, it would be 2 to 10 or 12, maximum 12 in the market. Generally, we should not be putting a number because for our convenience, we are saying it as 2 to 12. If you want examples, no, take the telecom service providers. You can count them on hands on your fingers. And cool drink cool drinks, like the beverages like Coke, Pepsi, and for example, you can take another example if you want to give the tire manufacturers. Very few: Apollo, MRF, Bridgestone, Michelin. So very few. So not many which provide this telecom service, and not many has taken up this cool drinks, aerated drink manufacturer. So their market becomes oligopolistic market, wherein there are not many sellers like in perfect competition. We said there are many sellers in monopolistic competition. We said many sellers, but in oligopolistic market there are only few sellers. Finally, in monopoly there is only one seller. So in oligopolistic, we say there are sellers between 2 to 10. If the competitor brings some change in the product, remember, take in any example like telecom service or DTH service. If the competitor brings some change in his product, some plans, you have to bring change in your products as well. If the competitor reduces the price of the product, again you will have to reduce the price of the product. The competitor gives some extra service or after sale service or guarantee or of warranty the product. You as the competitor, you will have to do the same. So you will have to be on your toes and keep adapting depending on the policies of the competitor or the rivals. Since we were before the Geo getting into the market for a telecom service provider, you know the history, no? Before, when Geo was not there, the totally the data value, the data pack, and the data cost or the price fixed for the data is totally high comparatively what we are enjoying now. It's totally high, but equally equal to all. As that is the reason, if competitor increases, it will increase. If they are giving any features, you should also consider about giving some extra service or extra features. Otherwise, the sellers will move to the next service provider. When Geo entered into the market, they gave the very low cost and high internet. So, what the other competitors or rivals did, they just keep on their toes and they just adapt about what the market price is given by the competitors. That is one of the major features in this oligopoly market, what we call it as interdependence. So the competitor, we always depend on the policies of the competitors or the rivals. If they change any policy or offering any service, no, the other competitor definitely you have to follow it. Otherwise, you will be losing the customers. Okay, so this is the characteristics of oligopolistic oligopoly oligopoly market. Okay, you see. interdependence, as this will be applicable to the telecom industry, and the importance of advertising and selling cost. So advertising and selling cost here matters because, as I said, no, it's only between 2 to 10 players in the market. So it is advertising is more important, and the selling cost determined. So you always keep your toes. You will have to be on your toes and keep adapting the policies of the competitors and the rivals. This is what they call it as group behavior. If you take, can anyone say which telecom service provider gives us the best feature or best benefiting uh, service in terms of price, or in terms of comparing the price with the features that they are offering? It is very difficult because they will follow the same policies given by their competitors or rivals, but they will give it in a different name. But at the end of the day, you calculate all those. If you want to determine the prices of all these telecom service providers, as from the buyer's point of view or the customer's point of view, no, it looks similar. Okay, more or less similar. So this becomes the group behavior among the sellers. Okay, so see the types of oligopoly market. The similarity, the basis is if the similarity of product is there, no, which you call it as pure oligopoly or perfect oligopoly versus differentiated or imperfect oligopoly. The new firm is entering, no, open or open versus closed. So to understanding the between the firms, collusive versus competitive. So dominance of one firm, for example, any firm entering into the market, whether they are entering partially or fully. So there will be some tie-ups, Sony, Ericsson. So that combination. So whether they are partially entering the market or fully, how products are sold. It's syndicated, given as you see. If you see some products, they won't directly sell to their to the customers. They will have some syndicate, some type of agreement or understanding between some other brand. For example, if you take some audio systems, they have a very good thing with some automobile industry, some Tata Motors or some other Honda Motors. This is syndicated versus organization. This way, the oligopoly market differs. In the next later classes, we will see in detail about this oligopoly market. This will give you a general picture and idea about the different types of market, how the price are determined in different types of market. To summarize today's class, what we have seen is the perfect competition. For example, groceries, food grains, the monopoly, railway, perfect competition. To keep it in mind, just large number of sellers and large number of buyers. Product, what do you say, is a homogeneous. Commodity is homogeneous. Price competitor. Firm can fix up the price takers. Firms are the price takers. In monopoly, single, one seller, many buyers. Monopolistic, it's like say, perfect competition, but here the product is not homogeneous. Is not homogeneous. There is a slight difference in the product. This can be achieved through advertisement, what we call as product differentiation, and oligopoly, 2 to 10 players. The players, the firms always depend on the interdependence is there, depend on the competitors or rivals policy in the market. So this is just a overview about different types of market and how prices determine different types of market. We'll see oligopoly market in detail in the next class.